Hey everybody, this is ManuFracture, brand strategist and founder of ManuFracture, here today with another episode of Ambitious of an Agency. Today we're going to talk about how to handle clients that don't respond or suddenly go AWOL. They go missing on you, basically. And this is basically what I'm experiencing at the moment. My client has gone AWOL. He has disappeared off the face of the planet ever since last Monday. Now, he's told me before he's incredibly busy, and that's fine. That makes sense. But the whole thing is that communication is incredibly important all the way through, and there's always deadlines as well that we've already put in place for things to happen at certain times. So all of this slows down the entire process. But there's no judgment on his part, because I've had to experience clients that have disappeared once in a while to some degree, right? It's happened before, right? This is not something that I'm not accustomed with. This is something that actually happens. But usually when I see that someone pays and is deposit, their first deposit has done that, at least that's a big indicator that they're just going through some rough patches at the moment and they're invested, because otherwise why would they put money down and disappear, basically, right? So they put money down, the next deposits are going to come through and all this stuff, but I'll just have to keep following up with them. So really, how do you handle a person that goes AWOL all of a sudden? So let's say you had a great strategy session, or you had a great talk with your client. You've been, either you're at the start of the project or the middle of the project, and you're really, you're vibing, everything's going fine so far, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, he's after a call and he says, hey, I'll get back to you on Wednesday or something like that, right? He promises that, and then what happens? He doesn't follow through with that, right? And then your first instinct is to get angry at him, to get angry at the person, angry at the, whoever he or she is, right? Get angry at them immediately, because why would they do, why? I'm running a business here, I'm doing all this stuff, it should be natural, these people should be professional. But as I state in when I do strategy sessions, states for any client interaction, humans are unpredictable. And that is, I think you should take that to heart in literally everything about business ever. It doesn't matter what happens, or if it's a tsunami that comes to their town, or their business is experiencing low cash flow or whatever, or their mom's in the hospital. You don't know, but overall that it's something uncertain, unpredictable, and out of your control, right? Because you've done everything to the point that you've laid out the timeline, you've followed through all the steps, you're going through all the things that you need to do, and you've set a timeline, and you set a deadline, and you've got your first deposit, so you're doing everything right? If you haven't done any of those things, then you're probably off the deep end, right? If that's the case, you haven't done all those things, then say goodbye to your client, because he has no accountability, he has no investment in this, so he has the freedom to leave anytime he wants, right? Humans are very fickle like that. They want to, they don't like change, right? That could also be another thing, right? Not liking change. So the first thing is, unpredictability, right? Completely being unpredictable. Stuff that's out of your control, that's blindsides your client and, has their attention focused on something completely different, right? That completely takes their priority and their attention away from you and the project, and also the case that so either it's something out of your control, or it's unpredictable, or whatever, or it's just the person doesn't actually want to change themselves, right? And so this can happen, right? And I still get pushback sometimes from my clients, because it's new to them. It's new marketing online for them. It's new putting social media out. It's new having their parents and their family members or their friends seeing their profile being posted with so much stuff, business stuff. It's it's the fear factor of judgment, basically. The fear of being judged, basically, right? And so this type of stuff can hold a client back, right? You have to be okay with that, and you have to offer some words of support, right? If that's the case, right, you always want to encourage communication. Never remind them that you forgot here, you forgot there. You never want to do that, right? It soils the relationship pretty quickly, right? Because no one wants to be blamed for anything, and even though it may be their fault, it doesn't really matter, right? It really doesn't matter. In psychology, you just want to, say you just want to push the positive forward and just look for the solution, right? And especially in a client interaction, you want to push for the solution as soon as possible. Say, I'm doing this so we can get this results quickly like this. I need to move the project along because this, and this. And I'm here to support you either way, no matter what, all this type of stuff. Very important that you're on their side and genuinely being on their side, right? You got to empathize with them because otherwise a project is done by two people. And so you and the client, you guys need to work this out. There's the only way to do that is to be together on the same page. And if communication starts messing up, or they go AWOL for a long time, or they flat out don't pay your invoice, all this type of stuff leads to bad, just festering of a bad client relationship, right? So anytime that happens, you want to make sure that you do either of the two things. You support them through whatever thing they're going through at the moment, ask to get on a call with them, or you say, we gotta move this along, if you have any questions, please communicate, right? But either way, the whole thing is about pushing the project forward with them in mind, talking about them in mind, being genuine about helping them out, saying that this is going to be good for you, this is going to be bad for you, and I understand what you're going through, all this type of stuff, and push them through the finish line, coach them through the finish line, right? Get them to the finish line, the timeline, right? So yeah, so you'd be like, well, Mario, why should I even deal with clients like this? Because again, humans are not going to act like always as you think they are, right? There's some clients that I know that are extremely great, extremely fine. They don't cause me any problems. They're amazing. Some have issues. They have time issues, all this type of stuff. But in the beginning of a business, you got to take on these clients because it leads to your reputation building up over time. And that's why I take on these clients, because they pay me damn well, and the fact that I can get to create a project that creates results that builds my reputation. That is a good thing for me. And the fact that the client has already paid for the deposit already puts me in a good place at the moment financially, and also the point that I know that he's going to keep going through this project because he's already invested money in it. And people pay attention to what they pay, basically, right? People pay attention to what they pay to, or they pay for. So that's the insight for today. So just a quick update on the client situation. It seems that the client has gotten, he got sick, and he got overall just busy with that, and also, training another personnel in his company. It was ultimately a lot of, crap that happened that was completely out of my control. So what I've noticed really is that when these type of things happen, I'm okay with it for a while, but after, if it passes a longer time than necessary, then I do start to freak out a tad bit. And I don't, it's not an issue of freaking out because, I just freak out. It's more so, I think it really is just the fact that I'm very methodical about how I'm moving through things. And if something is stopping in the middle of the way, you know, it's like, it just throws my entire flow off, which shouldn't, right? Because, if I'm talking about strategy sessions, right, strategy sessions have flow to them. They act into the unpredictability, so I have to act on unpredictability as well. So the best way I figured out to get through that is to really just keep pummeling them with messages, and then, but follow up consistently and just keep the tone of it pretty light, keep the tone of it pretty good, and everything should be fine. But man, this thing was like, I was catastrophizing in my head, like, what's gonna happen, what's going on, right? And I had all these assumptions, but I shouldn't have all these assumptions. Even though I've done this many times and I've had clients ghost on me, it's just these new experiences that I get that don't really coincide with my past experiences do throw me off a little bit, but it's fine because I've been able to get back on it again. So it is possible, and I guess I've learned that I can jump back from these type of things, and I can make sure that I can keep clients on track, based off of, even if they fall off the wagon 2 or 3 weeks, basically. So yeah, everything's good. Booked the meeting. The project is back on track. If you have any problems with clients going silent or AWOL, out of disappearing out to the nowhere, don't worry. It's not your fault. It's not at all your fault. It's just a matter of getting back in contact, being supportive, and doing the right thing, moving the project forward, being a professional. Right? Be a professional. All right. So that's it for today. If you want to subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you on the next one.